Hi everybody, welcome to our weekly YouTube video. I am Kim. I am the owner of On the Bias Designs, and today we are going to look at a little fabric, but we're actually going to talk about paper piecing. So I absolutely love paper piecing. It's one of my favorite things, and one of the issues I have, and if you've ever done paper piecing, and this is a really great example, I think I have a blog article about this. I took a class called Wild Waves, which is a paper piecing class, which we get to make this really beautiful quilt, which I'm working on. One of the issues with paper piecing, unfortunately, is the paper. So you have to rip this off, and I'll be honest, anybody that's paper pieced a lot knows the paper does not always come off as cleanly as you like. Or if you use like the stabilizer versions, you end up with either, I'll be honest, I've left it in my quilts because I figured it's easier to leave it in and I'll have a little bit of a stiffer quilt, or you're spending a lot of time maybe seam ripping or pulling it all out. So one of the, and trust me, I love paper piecing. I have a lot of patterns like this. We actually have a bunch of paper piecing options right now if you would like to do some paper piecing that are already printed. So we've got them in 12 and 6-inch blocks, and here's just a couple examples. We just got the snail trail in. That's in a 12 and we have that in a 12 and a 6-inch. We've got the pineapple blocks in a 12 and a 6-inch. We also have the log cabin in a 12 and a 6-inch as well. So this is a pineapple block, but it is a what I like to call an irregular pineapple block, which is why you'll see this one is real symmetrical, whereas this one's a little different. So this will give you a lot more options around kind of that wavy look, which is why the instructor calls it Wild Waves. A little more of a wavy look versus a much more, standard look for this. So we do have not only the papers if you want to just make your own, we also have kits out there from different manufacturers which are already pre-put together, or the templates are already there, already pre-printed. But what I wanted to talk about today was some other options around paper piecing that don't involve paper. So we have something called Foundation by the Yard. It's a really neat product. I love this product, and what it is it is your paper piecing templates, but they're on fabric. So a couple things. One, you get to keep the fabric. You don't have to rip it out. It's going to make your quilt a little thicker, but you probably can use a thinner batting with it so that you get a little more stability. It's a little more forgiving if you mess something up. If anybody's done a lot of paper piecing, you know that, let's say, you're sewing, and I'll just give an example. You're sewing here, and maybe you realize when you turn it over, your fabric's not set right. Now you have to rip it out and sew again, and all of a sudden you've sewn 5 times on this same line. Paper is not as forgiving as fabric if I have to sew over something that I've messed up. So this one here is a log cabin. It's an uneven log cabin. So again, you're going to get similar to this block. You're going to get kind of a different look to it because of the fact that it has smaller and larger blocks on it. But the way these work is pretty cool. So what you do is when you cut it out, and I have a couple here that I've actually sewed that I'll show you in a second. But what you're going to do is you're going to cut out these squares. You're going to find your fabric. You're going to put your fabric right sides together on the appropriate line, 1/4 inch over. You're going to sew it on the side with the numbers. So it's easy to see what it is. The only thing I would suggest with this is be real careful if you're doing like a light fabric. So let's say you were doing a white. You might need to make your white fabric double width, or I shouldn't say double width, might need to double it up, because if you don't, what might happen is you'll see some of the lines and the numbers through it. It's probably the only bad thing. The nice thing about these, though, is not only do you get all the blocks, in the case of this one, if you can see down at the edge here, they actually show you some samples for some different layouts of the blocks, so you can see some different design ideas. These also we created is some nice books that go with them that kind of walk you through. The instructions technically are on the top and the bottom of the fabric, but we've taken all that, we've put it in for here for you, and we tell you how many panels you need, how much fabric you need to do it using their measurements. So in the case of this one, if you wanted to do a queen-sized quilt with this, you're going to need, think of these as panels, you're going to need to have 6 panels, and then you'd need, if you're using 2 colors, you'd need 8 yards of one and 12 yards of the other. So all the instructions are in here and all of that. Now, in some cases, we actually have already pre-pulled the fabric too. So we have a couple of those on the website where we've said, hey, we think this fabric would look pretty cool in this quilt. And so not only are we giving you just the paper piecing fabric, we're also giving you fabric to go with it that we think would make a really nice quilt. So this one, though, is Foundation by the Yard. This is the Uneven Log Cabin. We're selling this in 2 sets. One would be a twin and one would be a queen size. And it will come with all the panels that you need and the instructions for this one. So I'm going to put this off to the side. We also have, I think right now, 3 versions of this on our website. The next one is called Grandma's Fan. So this is the actual template that you're going to get. Again, it's going to come with the instructions that show you how to actually put it together, how much fabric you're going to need. And this makes a really, really beautiful block. So I have this block here. I actually bordered it with a kind of a thick border right now just so you guys could see it. But it's a really nice, just a beautiful block. We are going to sell this kit with these colors in a kit coming up pretty soon because I just love these colors. And these colors are from all different collections that we have in store right now. I just thought they looked really pretty together and it gave kind of an icy blue look, which I really like. So this is the Grandma's Fan kit. So that's out there as well. Another one we have, I'm going to just set this off to the side, is the Courthouse Steps. So this is going to look like this. Now this one we have, I also did a block of, just to show you what it looks like. So it looks like this. This was how I did it. I love the moon shadow fabric. I thought it would look really cool to have the moon shadow fabric on kind of a cream background. This is where we were talking about the numbers coming through. So I actually did this with 2 pieces so that you weren't seeing the numbers through. You can see all the numbers on the back side. So the other thing with this, again, watch your thread color, just because if you're doing something light, you want to make sure your thread color is light so you don't see your thread color up through both of those, which most people should know. So this is the Courthouse Steps. There's a lot of variations you could do to this. This again is one that, if you look, we have instructions for this one. We did for this one do a little bit more of a detailed instruction set, and you'll see what this looks like. Here's the block we did, and then we actually show you how you're assembling the block step by step. We're thinking of doing an online class or a sew with me on this one, which is why we did this instruction set like this. We may go back and do a more detailed instruction set with those other 2 in the event we do a class on that also. But what you'll get is this. This one we actually have on the website we have some speckled fabrics. It kind of reminds me of, like an egg that might be speckly. That's what the fabric looks like. We have this in a black and a white. So you'd have some of your steps being black, the other being white. And I think it'll make a very dramatic, monochromatic quilt if you put it together. So that is also available. But this is just a really great way if you want to do paper piecing, you're a little nervous about the paper part. These are really easy to do. Like I said, no cutting of extra paper involved here, nothing you got to run through a printer. It sticks right with your fabric. It makes it actually a little bit thicker. And you end up with the same concept, but without some of the parts of paper piecing that aren't always fun, which is getting rid of all the paper. So, but I wanted to walk through these. We're going to do in addition to a class on this one specifically, the Courthouse Steps one, I think we're going to do we may use this pattern for our Sew With Me that we're going to do to make our table mats we're going to make towards the end of the month. So we're going to have a Sew With Me session where we're going to do some placemats, and we're going to do it live, and you'll be able to download instructions. This is the design that we're going to use. So if you want to, we'll have a kit available where you can buy this and you'll get the blocks, or else you'll be able to download it and print this on your printer, because it is it will be able to be, the version we're going to do will be able to print on your printer as well. So just another fun way to do paper piecing that is a little bit different, but a lot of fun. Like I said, this is all available on the website. I think we're getting one more in that I've got. It's a flying geese one that we'll do, and we'll put all that together for everybody also. And just to show you another one that we've got coming in, and I'm going to show you an actual quilt that has the pattern. So this is what I call a twisted log cabin. So we've got the block itself is this block right here. It's a big block. We've got this we're gonna have this as well. This is just a sample of what it would look like sewed, but we're gonna be getting this in. So this is one of the ones I love, because if you look, you get a lot of secondary designs with this. You get kind of a fan look. You're able to showcase some fabrics. You get that fan look off to each side, and it gives you a chance to really highlight a specific fabric, but then do some cool things with gradations and stuff like that. So we're going to be seeing this pattern in store as well, and then we'll probably have some kits with it that'll give you some chance to highlight some different fabrics and stuff like that. So with that, there was a couple fabrics I wanted to show you guys, because I don't know if everybody's seen them, and I don't know if I've done anything on a past webcast with them. So it's summer, or coming up on summer, and I love bright fabric. I am just a huge fan of stuff that's bright and colorful and just really vibrant. So we have these panels in right now, which I think are really fun. I think there's a lot of ways you could use this. I actually think this would make, if done right, make a cool background part of a baby quilt, because I know we tend to go with very, pastel-y colors for baby quilts, but in actuality, babies like bright colors. So using something that's a little brighter or monochromatic is actually going to be very attractive to a baby. So something like this would be a cool baby quilt. It'd also be good for maybe little kids, because it's very bright. But these are panels. We have it in this blue color. Then we also have it in more of a yellow tone. And with both of them, we have a coordinating fabric that goes with them. So I think this is a fun option if you're looking for something bright. These could also make really cool pillows, because they are panels. But very bright, kind of fun fabric. Kind of reminds me of fireworks. That might be something different that you might want to try. Along with that, since we're talking about bright fabrics, we also have a couple other ones that we got in, and we have 3 of these in kind of different colors. I don't know if I would use them all together, but I do think they make some pretty cool color options that you might want to think about as you're thinking about some of the things you might want to sew that's bright and fun and kind of sunny this summer. So they kind of remind me of like if you spilled paint on something and it just kind of, kind of drifted on its own, and maybe you have paint drips or something. But they're very neat. They and I'll pull this out so you can see it all over. It does have kind of bands on it where you're kind of going the orange, pink, red to the yellow, orange, and then kind of go. So you could fussy cut this in different ways to get different looks from the fabric. We also have this version, which instead of doing the blue, it's a teal background with the orange, pink, and then the yellow. And you got a little green in here on the yellow as well. And then last but not least, this is the one I actually really like, is a black background. So you have more of a teal, blue, purple look to this. And I think it's kind of fun. But I think all these fabrics are really fun. I think you probably could find a way to use them all together in one quilt. It would be a really colorful quilt. But if not, individually, paired with some solids, I think these would make some really fun quilts, maybe for kids or young adults. Or even bags. If you wanted a good tote bag, I think these would be really nice for that too. So that's really all the new stuff I have for us this week. If you've got questions about paper piecing, let me know. Like I said, we're going to do a couple videos about it, and we're going to do, when we do our Sew With Me session, we're going to be doing it around paper piecing. Don't forget, we have a coupon code out there right now, birthday15, for celebrating my birthday this month. We're going to give you 15% off your order, so put that in at checkout. Also, we will not be having a live stream next week because we are going to be visiting the quilt show in St. Cloud, Minnesota. So we're excited to be there. We won't have a booth, but we're going to be there anyway. Just walking around, seeing what everybody else has got, and just visiting the show. And then we'll be doing a blog about that as well. So you'll see that probably after the fact, some of the cool stuff we see at the show and some of the things that might inspire us to what we might want to do next. So with that, thank you all for joining. Please check out the website. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at customerservice@onthebiasdesigns.com, or else have a great day.